So if you have been thinking about becoming an online tarot reader or even just exploring these platforms for additional revenue streams, chances are you are chasing a shiny object syndrome. And why I say this? Because I have been there where you are. Most people see these online tarot reading platforms as ATM. You log in, you pull a few cards, interpret the messages, give quick yes and no answers, clarify to the hapless souls, and make quick money. But after 12 years and 50,000 sessions and working across renowned portals, the ones you see hiring day in and day out, promising the world to you, that version of reality feels almost fictional to me. Now, because what really happens behind that screen, it is far intense, far more human, and far more demanding than anyone tells you. And this perspective didn't come overnight. Before tarot, there was 18 years in the apparel and the fashion industry, very much that like of the Devil Wears Prada world. Back in the news with its sequel. Fast-paced, high pressure, and me personally, a little like Anne Hathaway character, finding her way through it all. And yes, there is a whole lot story to that, but that's for another day. I have come a long way from that space of constant performance and reinvention to finding my calling in tarot. Hello my lovelies, I am Chandra aka Tellataletarot, your friendly neighborhood tarot advisor. And if you've ever wondered what it is actually to be like an online reader, or if you are just stepping into this space and trying to find your footing, this conversation, this video is for you. Because what you usually hear is the polished commercial side. And what you are about to hear is everything behind it. So stay with me till the end of this, for this is not a thing of lore, but a lived experience. Now here is the truth. This work is not about pulling the card. It is about holding space, reading, energy without physical presence, and navigating real emotions in real time through nothing but a screen. Now this energetic connect is but virtual. It takes far more than intuition. It asks for consistency, emotional strength, and a deep understanding of people, human behavior, and more often than not, a deep dive into the realm of subconscious within a span of few seconds, if not few minutes. And this takes a hell lot more than just memorizing the keywords and interpreting the messages to the seeker who is emotionally vulnerable and at a crossroads of their lives. Now this perspective shift it from an e-com gig to a human gig altogether. So if you're serious about building something meaningful in this space, or even if you're someone who regularly seeks readings, this might shift the way you see it entirely. Now I'm not going to go at lengths here, peeling the layer by layer. If you want the full unfiltered dive, you will find it in my latest podcast stories, where this conversation continues episode by episode. Online tarot platforms, they are not just websites, they are actually digital bridges. And the interesting part is the anonymity. It does something to the people. They open up, like really open up. Things that they wouldn't say to their partner, their best friends, sometimes not even to themselves out loud. And you are just sitting there on the other side of the screen thinking, okay, now this has just got real. It almost starts to feel like a modern day confessional. No face, no judgment, no history, just the truth in its rawest form. Now here is where it gets a little uncomfortable, but significant. Most important who enter this space don't last. Not because they are not intuitive, not because they don't know tarot. In fact, they know it better than all of us put together, but they struggle because they treat this like a prediction business. Tell me how my future looks like. Will I find a government job? Can you suggest me a remedy to get my ex back? And for a while, you can play along with that, right? But it doesn't sustain you. And honestly, it doesn't serve the purpose sitting across from you either. Because if you have sat through thousands of sessions like I have, you start to notice something. People are not really asking for predictions. They are asking for clarity. They are asking, help me make the sense of what I am going through or what I am feeling. Help me understand why this is happening to me. Help me feel a little less lost right now. That is all. And that is a completely different space to hold. So, somewhere along the way, the shift happens. You stop trying to get it right and you start trying to be present. You listen more, you pause more, you read between the lines, not just the cards. The realm of the subconscious, as I said, the intuition guided by empathy, and the tarot insights working as a doorway to let the light in. And you realize this is not a prediction business, it is an emotional clarity business. And I'll say this very honestly, that part, that sitting with someone in their confusion, their vulnerability, their silence, that is the soul of this work. And that's also the part no tool, no system, no AI can truly replicate. Because this is just not about the information, it is about the connection. Okay, now let's talk about the business side for a moment. Because I see this all the time. People stepping in thinking, okay, this is it. Quick setup, quick readings, quick bucks. And I get it. It looks like that from the outside. But it's really not. First, the ecosystem. Let's talk about that. You have to understand the structure you're walking into. Now, these platforms, they are not just hosting you out of goodwill. They are businesses. They bring in the traffic. They build the trust. They hold the audience, which means they also take a significant cut. So in a way, you are not directly serving your own clients. You are partnering with a platform and the seekers belong to that ecosystem first. Now, this isn't a bad thing, but if you don't understand this from day one, it can feel very disorienting later. Second, and this is where it gets interesting, the learning ground. Now, despite everything I just said, these platforms are one of the best training spaces you will ever get. No exaggeration. This is where you meet all kinds of people from all walks of life. Different energies, different questions, different emotional states, back to back. And that does something to you as a reader. This is where I got over my camera hesitation. This is where I learned to respond in the moment without overthinking. This is where the craft actually gets sharpened. And this is from where the numbers come in. 50,000 sessions, you ask? Is she even serious? Yes, I jolly well am. These numbers that you see are listed against my profile across various portals. Promo sessions lasting from 1 minute to 3 minutes to paid ones that run into hours with regular and returning clients. And the numbers here, they serve you as a rich credentials. Seeing is believing after all, right? So yes, it is a business model and it is also a very intense, very real classroom, right? Now, okay, the third point, the last but not the least. Let's address the elephant in the room, the AI. Yes, it's here. And yes, it's getting better at sounding empathetic. The ones who are using ChatGPT to read for themselves or others know it already. With the advent of AI, no jobs are safe and the realm of esoteric is no different. But there is a difference between sounding like you understand and actually feeling into someone's energy. And that is the difference. It shows. So instead of feeling it, use it wisely. Use it to structure. Use it for notes. Use it for organizing your thoughts when needed. But don't let it replace your voice. Don't let it dilute your instincts. Because the only way you stay relevant in this space is by becoming more human, not more mechanical. Now, if you really look at it, this isn't a shortcut business. It is a depth business. And the ones who last are not the fastest readers or the most accurate predictors. They are the ones who understand people. Now, changing gears from here to something that may not be most visible part of the work, but it is absolutely the core of it. People often ask me this, how do you not burn out? And I always smile a little because the answer is never just one thing. Yes, my industry career, it gave me structures, it gave me deadlines, it gave me discipline, showing up no matter what, and that is what had stayed with me. But for this work, that alone is not enough because this work isn't just mental, it is energetic. And what keeps me steady is my spiritual practice, the path I have been guided on through Sadhguru. He has been my anchor. They aren't add-ons to my life, they are the foundation. The sadhana, the practices over time, they haven't just shaped not how I sit for a reading, but how I hold myself through the day. Now, because this work is subtle, but it carries weight. You are navigating emotions, unspoken layers, energies that aren't visible, and without something to guide you, it can become very overwhelming. That's where a guru, or simply a path that truly resonates, matters. Not as something you have to follow, but as something that brings you back to your own self. Because at the end of the day, the work you do outside can only be as steady as the space you hold within. Now, when you're sitting in that back-to-back readings for hours, you're not just listening. You are absorbing the anxiety, the confusion, sometimes grief, sometimes hope. And if you're not aware of it, it starts to build up quietly, subtly, until one day you feel exhausted and drained, and you don't even know why. And this is the part most people are not prepared for. They learn tarot, they focus on getting clients, but they don't prepare for holding energy. So over time, I had to create my own rhythm. Small pauses, small sessions, moments of stillness, a conscious breath, sometimes just like shaking it off literally. And yes, the cleansing rituals. Simple, nothing dramatic, but intentional. Reiki, pranayam, breath work, ho'oponopono, because without that, you will crash. Not immediately, but eventually. And this right here is the part of being a tarot coach I feel most strongly about. Not just teaching you how to read cards, but teaching you how to hold that space without losing yourself in the process. Now, because your sensitivity is your strength, but without boundaries, it can become your weakness. So if you're stepping into this space or even feeling called towards it, ask yourself this honestly. Do I know how to return to myself after holding someone else's world? Because that, more than cards, more than the skill, is what decides how long can you truly sustain this work. Now, my friends, online tarot, it's a journey of responsibility. It's not just commerce. And if there is one thing all these years have shown me, it's this. This work is not about quick answers. It's not about quick money. It's not about getting every prediction right. It is about people. It is about holding spaces when someone doesn't know what to do next. It's about offering clarity without taking away the agency. And somewhere along the way, you learn how to hold yourself through it. There has been the biggest learning of mine to stay grounded, to stay honest, and to keep showing up with integrity even when no one is watching. So thank you, my lovelies, truly for sitting with me in this conversation today. Again, a gentle reminder, I am Chandra, your friendly neighborhood tarot advisor. If something in this space, in this video resonated with you, you can support this in a very simple way, just by liking, subscribing, or even sharing your thoughts in the comments. It genuinely helps to keep this kind of meaningful conversation going. Don't you think so? And it means more than you might realize. And if you feel called to go deeper into this world, I gently recommend the podcast for you. That is where I open this up layer by layer with a lot more honesty and a lot more detail. For now, I'll see you in the next video. Love and light, Chandra.